After finally getting some time off, I, EDAJ, sneak off to peek in on my first love of some decades ago, Nivek. I try to clamber up a building opposite his home, but get caught by a Klingon auntie and questioned. I fall from the building, catching the notice of Nivek, who has just returned home with his young Klingon daughter. We exchange words and depart, vowing to speak again soon. I go for a dinner date with my parents, a famous opera singer and playwright. My parents show me the refurbished tapestries that they have now illustrated of my distinction as a captain of a Borku. Until my father mines my past adventures for story plots, and I revert into a teenager and go hide in my room because that's what going back home to Konosh just does to Klingons sometimes.
I, Omek, bring the Wa to a familiar hunting ground where we wage a fierce battle against a relentless Targ. The battle is hard fought. Both of us sustain injuries, but we remain victorious and slay the Targ.
I, Ra'amyan, meet with my old mentor, Vish, at the academy. He invites me to sit in on a High Council meeting. There, I learn of the rising figures in the High Council, including Druk of House Antek and Ra'al of House Kumpek. Druk advocates for Klingons to return to their warrior ways, conquering the Cathar system to expand the Empire. Chancellor Martok seems hesitant, but allows the Council to vote in favor of the campaign. I do notice, however, that Ra'al did not support the campaign. Speaking with her, I learned that while she does not oppose expanding the Empire, she suspects the houses leading the campaign are doing so without honor and with ulterior motives. I leave with this new knowledge, and a potential new ally on the High Council.
Omek and I, Dwa, bring the Targ to Omek's mother, a butcher of some notoriety. After eating our fill, Mar rushes us off to go and enjoy the city. We meet up with the rest of the crew, Sans Kotar, and sample some Klingon fusion. We inquire as to how we can purchase garlic in bulk as we try a wide variety of delicious Targ preparation.
At the open-air bazaar, as our hunter/science officer samples delicious smoked targ and blood wine reduction with whole garlic, Omek senses someone watching him, turns around, and sees a face he never thought he'd see again. His long-lost father, Bosch. Tune in next time as the crew of the IKS Borku continues their visit to Konosh at twitch.tv/QueueTimes.
That was a totally different character, but you know.
That was fun though. Hello and welcome to Blood of the Void, a live play TTRPG of the Modifius Klingon system. I'm ALIZA Pearl, here with my incredible cast of warriors. And before we begin tonight's story, I just want to give my cast a chance to tell us anything that's coming up for them. Aki.
Yes, when this airs, this will be incredibly timely because tomorrow, Tuesday, June 1st at 3 p.m., you can catch me in the premiere of my show that I will be co-hosting with Colin Kelly over at Indicate Twitch RP Game Changers. We are going to be running through a series of independent tabletop role-playing games throughout the summer, and we're really, really excited to start this show, and we hope you will join us at twitch.tv/IndieCade to see what we're up to. It should be a lot of fun, and we have a lot of really cool people coming to play with us. So yeah, get excited.
That's fabulous. You always have such awesome, interesting TTRPG stuff going on.
Hey, thank you. The week before this airs will have been the first episode of season 2 of All Games No Masters, which is my GM-less RPG show that I do over at Zenithia, that you should also check out. That's at 7.
Yes.
So,
lots of very good, juicy Aki TTRPG stuff to check out.
Thank you.
I
And
have one.
Oh,
I
go
got
ahead.
one. I got one. It's very early, but you know what? Who cares?
it.
You should be watching Fox animated lineup on Sundays. You know, when it comes around, you'll know what's up because I definitely will be talking a lot of shit about it. But I can't legally say anything, but I will say watch Fox animated Sundays.
Is
After
it
Family Guy specifically.
Wait. Okay, I was gonna say, is it my favorite show? But if it's after Family Guy, then it's not.
It's not out yet. It can't be your favorite show, but it will be.
Oh, okay.
If you're watching this, the person who made it probably made something that you like. And also, that's my hints, and then that's where I go.
Oh, I think I could guess this, but I won't.
That ending.
I'm a Fox animated watcher, so I will be looking very closely.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have announcements? I have one. I directed and produced a show called Slay with my group, Ripley Improv. It's also Jade's group, and she is in the show, and she's freaking fantastic in it.
Good.
It's an improvised monster hunting monologue show that we perform live on Twitch. We are insane, but we're also brilliant. I don't remember who the guest will be when this comes out, but this Friday, we're pre-taping this, so we're traveling to you from the past. This Friday, we have Tommy Lank guesting with us from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So go and watch the VOD. Go watch the VOD, because that's going to be an awesome episode. I don't know what's going to happen, but you might know, because you might have already watched this, because we're traveling in time. It's so complicated. So anyway, go watch that show. I'm really proud of it, and I'm super happy to get to play with such awesome people like Jade. Oh, it's Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/Ripley Improv. And also make sure to follow us. We're at Bloodvoid RPG on Twitter and Instagram. And, sometimes we do giveaways and things like that. So make sure you're following us so that you can be up to speed on getting cool stuff and just seeing cool stuff that we do. And I believe with that, we are ready to start the show. When we last left off, Omek, you had turned around, standing with your fellow crew members in the middle of this night market in the first city on Konosh. You sensed something behind you, turned around, and found yourself staring into the eyes of your long-lost father, Bosch. You have not seen him since you were a child. He looks older, but it's unmistakably him. He's standing near, he's probably standing about 10 feet away, standing near a vendor stall that has some very ornate batleths and mek'leths and other daggers and precious weaponry.
Guys, give me a second. I'll be right back.
You
You know-
okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
No, I see some, there's this cart over here. There's some batlets. I'll be right back. Just stay close. I'll be right back.
So you walk over to him.
So I walk over to him.
When you start walking towards him, you can see him tense up. When you first caught him in your gaze, he looked like a deer in headlights, unmoving, very still, but holding your gaze. And when you start moving toward him, he braces as if still a deer in headlights, unsure as to whether he should run or move or stay where he is, just still. but tense now.
It's probably because he sees that I have my fists clenched, and I'm walking towards him directly. Just all my eyes on him, and I make my approach, step to him, and look at him with a look of disgust. I thought you were dead.
Might as well be.
Yeah, just stay that way. Well, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Don't question me. You know, you have brought so much shame to our family. And the fact that I still carry your name, I should be ashamed of carrying your name. You know what? As of right now, I am son of Mara, not son of Bosch. And I spit on the ground. You're a disgrace. Do you even think of Athul? Yes,
When you
your
say-
first son, the one who got killed.
You think I don't think of him every second of every day?
You sure had a shitty way of showing it. That's for sure. You left us. You left me. You left my mom to fend for herself. What man does that? You should be ashamed of yourself.
You think you can shame me any more than I already am, but you can't. And you know what? I did you a favor. Because look at you now. You're not Atul. You're still here, standing, breathing, fighting. I raised a son who was killed before he had a chance to become a man. You were better off with a father that was non-existent than with me there.
Yeah, and I had to figure it all out on my own. Thanks, Dad.
When he starts, the more he speaks, the more you start to smell the really strong stench of blood wine on his breath.
Just as I figured.
What? What does that mean?
Just as I figured, I thought, if you were alive, look at you. You're just a helpless drunk. Trying to push these batleths, look at this. This is so elementary.
This isn't mine. I have a job, okay? I may be a drunk, whatever you want to call me, but I have a job.
Oh yeah? What's that? Leaving other families? Abandoning them?
Security.
Security? You do security? Oh God, who hired you? What? You doing security? Oh man,
you can see him getting very self-conscious with this, but you also see he starts to like crack his knuckles a little bit, and you notice that his hands are bruised, like his knuckles are bruised, and he has wraps around his hands like to stabilize his wrists. So they're not all fresh bruises either. A lot of it is like old scarring as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Laugh all you want, but I have a job. I don't know if I could. You know what? I can't take back what I did. but I'm glad to see you.
I'm not.
And with that, behind him, in front of you at the stall, you see a youngish Klingon, maybe, 15 years old, at the stall, starting to create a commotion, kind of trying to like haggle with the shopkeeper and like threaten them with one of the mech lists that's on the table. And Bosch turns around and almost just instantly, without even hesitation, he comes up and just grabs this kid by the collar and says, "Put it down." And the kid drops it, tries to struggle and run away, but can't. And Bosch says, "I don't want to see you ever again," and lets him go. And the kid runs out of the night market. And he turns around back to you. And you just start taking in more of him now too, having him at a distance, seeing him in action. You see that he's wearing like a worn brown leather jacket that has seen lots of scuffles, lots of scratches on it. It's been mended many times over, not very well, maybe by him himself. He is wearing some worn boots, but the boots are nice, actually. You notice that all what he's wearing is like nice quality. It's just been worn and used a lot. His hair is long, very thick, curly hair, like Afro kinky hair, pulled back into a low bun at the base of his neck. He looks over and glances at the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper nods gratefully. And then he turns back to you and says, "Well, I would tell you that you could find me here again, but I might not be here. I travel a lot for my job. So I don't know if you'll ever find me again, but that probably would be pleasing to you."
I'm not sure I even want to see your face again, to be quite honest.
Then why are you still here?
I'm here with my crew. You, you are a dishonor to our house. You mean nothing to me. If you die tomorrow, good riddance.
And with that, he just turns and starts cursing in Klingon and just walks away from you. You see a symbol on the back of his jacket, Omek. I want you to roll an insight. So this will be Insight Command. And the difficulty is, actually, I'll make this simple. The difficulty is 1.
1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a 1 and a 3. All right.
Oh, that's beautiful. What are your focuses?
Here they are. Sensors, Batleth, weird things in space. I'm like fascinated by that. Hunting, survival. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. So I would say you can use your Batleth's focus.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 successes, bank 3. And here's what crosses your mind when you see the symbol on the back of his jacket. You recognize this symbol as what can only be described as a Klingon crime family. Famously known, one of those best kept open secrets on the planet. They operate under the radar of the Klingon High Council and the KDF, but they have enough connections in it to kind of do what they want. The name of this crime family is called Rane. So oops. RANEY. Rane. And the symbol on the back is a batleth. Two batleths. One is facing upwards, the other crosses it curved downwards. There's a snake winding between the two.
I am I with my crew?
Are
I'm
you
not with my crew yet. I'm seeing him walk off, right? I'm not with my crew.
right? You're yeah.
And
He's walking.
I know this La Costra Klingongi thing, this little crime syndicate.
You've
gang.
heard of them. Yeah, you've heard of them.
It's like okay. All right.
It's like if you had heard of like MS-13, something like it's like that kind of well-known organization that you would have heard of.
I think I'm gonna yell at him to wait. Wait.
He stops, doesn't turn.
How would I get in contact with you if I want to?
And he turns and he looks you in the eye and he says, almost heartbroken, he says this, "Are you sure that's what you want?" And you get this sense of that tough exterior he had before was because he expected rejection. And this moment where you open the door for him is almost heartbreaking for him.
I so want you to be dead, man. I hate you with every part of my body, man, but you are my dad. You only get one dad, right? So I guess if this is my time to make it right, let's try to make it right.
You see him tear up, but he doesn't cry, just the water in his eyes swells up. And he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a communicator, and taps a few buttons, sends you his communication code. That's my private direct line. I have to change it every so often, but I can make sure that you always have it, whatever it is.
Has mom seen you? She even know you're alive?
I think if she saw me, I wouldn't be alive.
That's for sure.
You can't tell her. I'm not on Konosh all the time. I'm not here very often. I'm on this assignment. She doesn't
barely
even
know you. I barely know you, and you want me to keep secrets for you?
I know. None of this is fair. Not a single bit of it.
You think? How long you been working for Ra'anye?
It's Rane. And
Sorry, the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
it's been a while. It's been a long time. Really long time. They saved my life. You think this is me as a drunk lowlife? You should have seen me before, because for a long time after Atul died, I was living on the streets. I was living in the wilderness for a while, in caves. The only thing that could soothe me was blood wine. But I had no money. I had no livelihood, nothing to provide for myself or my medicine, my blood wine medicine. And so they saved my life.
Well, you're still a scumbag. You always will be, in my eyes. But yeah, I hope to never bump into you again. But at least I have your information, so in case if I need something from you, probably shouldn't have told you that, but you know.
He slightly smiles at this, mostly because you're slightly smiling. It was good to see you, Omek.
Yeah. I gotta get back to my crew.
Of course. Of course.
Oh, Mac, I still got your tentacles over here. Do you want me to eat it or what?
Dom, come right over, EDAJ. Sorry, I gotta go.
And as you turn away, he calls out after you. You've grown up well. Mara did good. And you go back to your crewmates?
How is a tentacle? I did not steer you wrong, right? This is the best place anywhere. The tentacles are charred and burnt on the outside, but the inside is still chewy, you know?
Mhm.
It's very, very hard to get that texture.
It's one of the best tentacles I've ever had in my life.
I have to admit, I've forgotten why it is we came here, aside from a desire to experience Honosh night life for the first time in a while. Though I have to admit, this is actually the first time I've ever enjoyed the nightlife.
Enjoyed, huh, Dawa? Enjoyed, right?
Well,
It's a good time. We're all having a good time right here. Who wants some mulled blood wine, huh? I got a horn. I got horn aplenty.
A horn full of blood wine or a horn and also blood wine? I can never tell with you, EDAJ.
I've always got a horn, if you know what I mean. We're going to have a good time tonight, so drink up. Drink up. We have more taverns to hit, more fights to be in. Let's get ready.
Did you not end up buying a new batlet? You went over to check out those batlet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ramyan. No, I didn't.
It's okay.
Poor quality.
When I was still at the academy, I would come every night, and after studies for dueling, and the instructors always said, "Don't trust those night market batlets. They're made of poor quality duranium. Not a true warrior's blade."
I'm sure you could point us to all of the best blacksmiths in the first city.
They don't come to the night market. That is one thing for sure.
I'm fairly certain they're just waiting for drunk Klingons to pass by and get swindled for cheap, low quality.
You know what? I feel like getting fucked up tonight.
My language.
Ra'amyan, you mentioned the batleths in that stand. Did you look at them at all? Did you get a look?
I guess I wasn't super paying attention other than beyond that he left. You can let me know if I might have caught a glance.
Do an insight roll.
All right.
Insight command. I would say difficulty 1, just because you're far from them, unless you want to walk over.
Does Klingon politics fall into this, or is this not?
It can, yeah.
Okay. Three total successes.
Ooh, okay. Great.
2 more for 5, I believe.
All right. So without even having to walk over there, when you say that about, usually the stands have these poor quality batleths that are scamming people basically, and offhandedly you just kind of glance over that stall and you realize something catches your eye, because you notice that a lot of the handles of these batleths are not the usual cheap materials, cheap twine and ropes that wear away after, lots of heavy use. These have some type of material that was, made into some type of a rope, but it's a fine, looks like if you could weave marble into twine, that looks like the material. It looks very high quality, looks different from the other stands that you've noticed usually.
Omek, was it this stand that you were at, that you were browsing?
Yes, this is the same right here.
I may have to recant what I said earlier. There's something peculiar about these blades. And I walk over to kind of also peruse them.
Okay. So, getting a better look at them, sure enough, as you suspected, the material of these handles is this fine substance that you are not very familiar with. You're not sure what it is, but you don't recognize it as anything that comes from Konosh. This is not a typical material that you've seen. You notice that the workmanship of some of the blades is average, and a lot of the ones, like there are some blades in the back that are really super high-end, high quality, but all of the handles are made from this really specific material, strange material.
Omek, Kotar. Actually, everyone. And I asked...
Is Kotar here? I don't think Kotar
is Kotar not there? Oh,
right.
Yeah. Omek, everyone. I asked the purveyor, may I inspect one of the blades?
Yes. Go ahead. Look at what you like.
I lift it off, and I show Omek and everyone these handles. Do you recognize the material? Because I do not. Dua, perhaps your materials, science understanding, or in your hunting and your science understanding, Omek. These are not a traditional grip.
Does Dua recognize?
Let's have you make a roll.
My investigation focus go into this?
Yes. What are your other focuses?
Troubleshooting, warp field dynamics, cloaking devices, electroplasma, power systems, and systems maintenance. I'm an engineer,
Cool. All right. So yeah, investigation would come into play. Same role, Insight Command.
That's a great role for me.
Great.
Would it not be like a science? If
yes, you can use
reason. Could I use my reason for this?
Yeah.
Do we get to assist or help out since we're all looking at this thing?
Absolutely. How would you like to help out?
Dua, analyze this weapon and tell us what it is. Can I command her to command them to do that?
Yeah. And then you would be giving them
a directive that I could burn as a determination, essentially, to give me 2 automatic successes.
I feel like I'm sorry to interrupt. I feel like my character Omek would know, because his dad's a blacksmith. You know what I mean? Like I would know all this stuff, but me, Philip, I don't know anything.
So yeah, here's what I'll give you though. Yes, you're familiar with blacksmithing because of your dad, but we're talking about the handles of these batlets being made from a different material that is not native to Konosh and it's not really recognizable to any of you. But if you roll well, then we'll see how much you know.
Right.
Ooh, can I do a tricorder scan
Yeah.
to figure out what this material is?
So
Yes.
I guess my question is, who's actually leading this role?
Okay.
Because you can only do one roll and one assist. So if you want to do this, then EDAJ can be assisting you, and I can just look at it. But I can't. Well, I mean that's how it works. We can't both assist you.
So I have an advisor talent where if I assist another character using my command discipline, the character being assisted can re-roll a d20.
Didn't you already use your directive, or can you do both of those?
Well, we haven't decided which way we're actually going, I guess, at this point.
Okay. All right. So
We
if you
should-
do the
we should
advisor
just-
instead, then okay.
Yeah, I think Omek should take the role, and then the advisor talent can be used.
Oh, I was gonna say Dua should.
But you can still. So if you use the advisor, that's just a reroll. Dua, you can also assist with like one die.
Oh, okay. Then I will assist.
Okay.
And this is reason. What is this? Reason.
So, yeah, if you're using your tricorder, it's going to be reason science.
Science. Okay. Cool.
And then Dua, how are you assisting?
I guess for me it would be since this is a non-traditional material, and engineering has a lot to engineering. Our ship especially requires a lot of non-traditional methods in order to be able to keep it in the sky. So I'm wondering if in our travels or in the time that Dua has been in space, they might have come across any non-traditional materials that would give them some insight into this.
Great.
So
definitely, let's see. What would you use to roll this?
I'd use either insight engineering or reason engineering, one or the other.
I think insight engineering sounds good.
Yeah. It's not as good of a role for me, but I feel like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Fair.
And
okay. So Phil, Omek's making the main role. I'm assisting, and then Omek, you have the assist from EDAJ that will let you re-roll a die if you need to.
I got 2 successes.
All right, let me roll.
The difficulty is 2. So
yeah, I did not get any success, so we just got 2 successes.
okay. So you set your tricorder to scan one of the handles, and
If we're using a tricorder, that knocks down the difficulty down to 1. So
There you
we
go.
actually got 1 momentum for that. So we're
great,
full up.
great. All right. No one rolled any crits, right? Or under no focus.
But we're full up on momentum, which means if we want to do some information spends, we can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just looking up one quick thing. Oh my God, I went back to the Star Trek Adventures book, and I forgot that our cast signed it from not Clear Skies, Shield of Tomorrow. You can't see it. Oh, I'll post a picture on my Twitter. But I forgot. Oh, memories.
Memories.
I am sorry, I'm just looking for one thing, but I can tell you, okay, I can tell you something else while I look for this. So with that roll, if you spend more momentum, I can tell you more, but the one thing you get from this successful tricorder scan is that this in fact is just as Quincy kind of eyed it from afar, this is a material that is very rare. It is woven and spun from a slab of marble, which is very difficult to do and not common at all. And it makes for a very strong, durable, yet comfortable for the hand grip, which is why it's now being used in these batleths. Would you like to spend momentum to find out more?
I feel like we should.
We're momentum rich. Let's spend those coins, baby.
Yeah.
Uh,
Spend a
make it rain
momentum
momentum.
for more information. What
I feel like these are Omek's choices whether
Yep.
to take these suggestions, but my suggestion is, what is the origin of this specific marble? Like another planet, or just, I don't know, some strange system?
Yeah. Okay. Omek, would you like to ask that?
I concur.
All right. So this material is only known to come from one place, and it is a rocky, dense, small planet about the size of Mercury. And this planet is called Vorseth, Vorseth, and it is in the Cathar system, which is currently under Klingon. Well, it is the Cathar system is a place that has not yet been colonized by Klingons, but Klingons have been slowly encroaching on the area. And Amyan, I saw your ears perk up. Yes, this is the same Cathar system that was mentioned at the Klingon High Council.
We're all at this stand. I'm just gonna ask. Is there a person who's manning this whole thing?
Yes, and Bosch, Omek's dad, who you all probably don't know that's his dad, is standing not too far away, but kind of trying not to make eye contact, trying to be discreet. But yes, there is a stall booth operator standing here.
I'm just gonna say, like, oh, I kind of want to buy one, maybe as a present for someone. Can you tell me a little bit more about this bat left right here with a fancy handle?
Oh, yes. He comes over. He is a grand man. He has a grand voice. He's wearing a little beanie, too. He says, oh, this one is very, very beautiful. It's carved by ancient travelers who sold it to us, and we pick these things up here and there, but we've just been collecting them over time, and now we have this collection that we bring to you. You are a very savvy shopper for that to catch your eye.
Oh, so this is an ancient weapon, not a new one, then?
Oh yes, very, very ancient. Yes.
If it's old, it must be less expensive, right?
No. No.
Oh. How expensive is this bat left right here? I want to pick it up as a present for an old friend.
Oh, that one. That one is 100 units of Klingon money.
Is that a lot? Is that a lot of units?
It's a lot. It's very expensive.
Very expensive. Okay.
Talons. 100 talons.
That's a lot. Could we bargain it down? Surely it is not very old. It must be relatively recent. This material looks like it was made from a stone found around here.
No, it is very rare, ancient material.
What material could it be for it to be sold in a marketplace like this?
Well, good question. I don't know. I'm just hired to sell them, to be honest.
I want to interject here and go, these are indeed fine wares. However, what is usually sold in the night markets are rusted, old togs, so that the drunken becks who have gotten into a fight and used up all their daggers can refill before they get into another scuffle again.
Well,
These must not be selling quite as well as those, for those drunken becks do not have a Darsek to their name sometimes.
Hey, if you want those, I have those too. He reaches down under the booth and pulls out a tray that has just like these old rusty diktoks and mekhleths.
So I am curious then, how well do these sell? And what is your luck today? Do you feel lucky enough to sell to us instead of no one at all?
Oh, I see where you're getting at with this. Here, you seem like a fine group of Klingon warriors. It would be Very honorable for us to have you bearing these weapons that we have brought here to the market. So I'll cut you a deal. 95.
No. 50 talons is as high as I can go. I look at this. The colors that you have on display, not so good. There is no one gathered about your stall, only our group here. 50 is my best offer.
Did you know that in the first city, the premier group of warriors, Mokbara School of Klingon Warriorness, they purchased an entire set of these, several tens of sets of these exact weapons. Did you know that?
Are we supposed to take you on your word?
You would have to be, perhaps, a warrior of that caliber to hold these grips, that a rock grip. Would it not slip from your hands?
Try it. Pick it up and try it.
Omek, could you see what these batleths are made of? Sir, would it be all right if you took it for a test drive?
Yes, of course.
Yes, Commander, will do.
So now you did your reason science roll.
Yes.
Were you trying to get more information about the material?
Did we get enough information, guys?
We still have 5 momentum. We lose 1 the moment the scene changes, so
I genuinely want to buy one. So I'm kind of curious, like, is this a good quality buy? How much should I spend on this?
Trying to help haggle.
Can we barter? Like exchange?
We've been trying.
Like, no, I mean like exchange our batleths for maybe one of, or I don't know.
Oh, you want to trade in like GameStop?
It's certified lightly used batleths.
Or an old, dick talk or something like that. Like 5 dick talks for 1 batleth. You know what I mean?
How about this?
A pre-owned.
Let's have Jade do a roll, and we'll see from there how whether it's a barter or getting a deal, however it goes. We'll decide by the roll.
All right. What do I
So-
roll on?
I mean, I think command should be in this, and probably presence.
Presence?
Command.
Can I
is this an opposed roll?
I'm bartering the hell out of this.
It's an opposed roll. The difficulty is going to be 2.
I think
And-
opposed rolls are a 0.
Or 0.
Like yeah, I think opposed rolls have
opposed
like a
rolls can have
0.
difficulty? 'Cause
They
can
do?
both
That's
fail.
cool. That's
People
cool.
like fighting can have that, for example.
I thought it was just heads up. Like if you lose, then it's done. You know what I mean? As opposed to you got to get it too.
The reason they have that is because it affects how much momentum you would gain beyond from a thing.
All right. I understand, and I was wrong, and I will be quiet now.
Brr. Okay, I'm rolling 2 die.
Can I assist? Because I was also
Yes, you can.
there, and I also have advisor. So, and if I'm assisting, also using command presence, also the same ways, because I'm also talking him down.
Sure.
1, I have a focus and persuasion. 2, I also have advisor. That means that EDAJ can reroll 1 d20 if necessary.
Great.
Also,
Okay.
if you want to use momentum, if you want to spend momentum to get an extra die, you can.
I think I'm pretty good with my presence command. And I just rolled. I did take that reroll because I needed it. But I got 2 successes with a reroll.
All
Well,
right.
great. I didn't actually help with the roll, so that advisor thing was the most thing.
Okay. So, Jade, tell me how you managed to secure this,
Mm-hmm.
buying this weapon.
I kind of give a knowing wink to Omek to be like, don't be too showy with his demonstration. And after he's kind of like swinging it around, I just turn back. I see the weighting is off in this blade. It tends to steer towards the right more than to the left, and the grips are not so solid. I see it slipping and sliding with sweat growing on his hands. If I were to use this in real battle, This would do me no good. I want to just put this on a wall in my home. It will purely be a ceremonial piece because it is not good for anything beyond that. So I do think that 50 talons is the best I could give. And I'm doing you a favor here, really, taking this off your hands. Let's all go home with a little bit each in our pockets. That's what I have to say to you, sir.
He looks at the batleth in Omek's hands and says, I never noticed that about that one. And you get the sense that he feels out of his depth, like you know more than he does in this case. You know what? You are a very astute warrior. Yes. I'll let this one go at a discounted price.
You are a wonderful merchant, wise beyond your years. I feel good that we have both succeeded in this deal. You have stolen 50 talons from me, and I'm happy to take this old piece of junk off your hands as well as decoration for my walls. So thank you, sir. I hope you have a good evening.
And you as well. Kapla. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. So he gets, he kind of looks over and starts inspecting the other weapons, now very self-conscious and worried about the quality. But you now have secured your, it was a batleth, right? Or no? Okay.
A batleth.
All right. So you have this batleth. So the colors of this handle are kind of greens and pinks. That, like I said, it's made of marble. So it has almost like that clouded colors that merge into each other look. So yeah, green and pinkish pastels to deeper of those colors.
I'd like to see, sir, could I wrap this up in some old cloth that you have and tie it with some twine or rope? I don't want anyone else to see this prize that I have taken from you.
Yes.
I would like to keep it private if I could.
Yes, of course. And he pulls out some materials and starts wrapping up the batleth for you.
Okay, great. Once he's done, I'm going to slap it over my back and carry it diagonally on my body.
Okay. Great. And with that, we will now cut over. We're going back in time a little bit. I think it would be several days earlier from this. Well, actually, let's say a couple days earlier from this moment. Kotar. It's been a while since you've been here at the table, and we actually haven't played this game in like 2 months. But last we knew of you, you had a date of sorts with your parents and grandparents, your parents and grandmother.
Who doesn't love a date with your parents and your grandmother attending?
They indeed had told you, knowing that your Ponfar was imminent and you were in the early stages of Ponfar, they had found a young Vulcan woman who also, it was her time to mate. What's that noise? Did y'all hear that? That was scary. Ominous. Okay. So you have finally, after a couple of weeks on Konosh in the first city, doing House of Kevek tasks and things and learning about the house, becoming a formal member, you finally make some time to go and see your family. And so you find yourself at the front door of your childhood home where you, actually, remind me, you grew up on Konosh, right? You grew up in the first city? Yes, you did. Okay, so yes, you find yourself on the front steps of your childhood home in Konosh, looking the same.
Okay, all right. This is going to be terrible. Ding dong.
You hear the doorbell echo throughout the home. And it's like a modest-sized home. And you, after a few moments, you hear shuffling, and the front door is opened by a tiny Vulcan woman with gray hair and in the typical Vulcan bob, crisp, clear brown eyes. And she looks up at you with all the sass in the world and says, "You finally made it."
Musa, grandmother, how are you?
I am well, and it is good to see you well. Come in.
Follow her inside. So where mother and my father? When is this guest supposed to be coming?
She will arrive shortly, don't you worry. We wanted to catch up with you first.
Oh, well, that's a new thing. Who would have thought?
Yes, it's been quite a while. We know you have been out exploring and serving for the Klingon Defense Force, and we wanted to know how that's going.
Nothing too special, grandmother. Killing a few bad guys here, blowing up a few ships there. Very standard fare.
How archaic.
Yeah, it is the way of half of my people. It must be. So it shall.
Not my half.
I'm well aware. You never cease to remind me of that.
She's walking you down the front hallway towards the living room, and she picks up a small item that's on the desk. It kind of looks like this. She's like, "Here, you should play with one of these. Do you remember how to do those? You did them pretty well as a boy."
I get the gist of it.
So it's this some like metallic angular puzzle that has lots of different pieces.
Here you go.
Oh, so you are still a Vulcan man, as much as you try to run from that side of your heritage.
I don't try to run from anything. If I was to say the truth, I think Vulcans hide from their truth. But, we'll save that for another time, grandmother.
What truth do you think I have hidden from, grandson?
There's a reason it's called a Vulcan hello. Just because we repress emotions do not mean we do not have them. The true challenge of one who has control is to have a dominance over one's emotions, not avoid them. But I did not come here for philosophical debates.
You almost see her crack a smile. Almost. You reach the living room and you enter the room with your grandmother, and you see both of your parents enjoying a cup of coffee. Your mother actually is enjoying her coffee, but she's standing up and talking to one of the house attendants, who actually is probably the chef, dressed like a chef, and just kind of ironing out the final details. And so then you'll bring this course, and I want you to make sure that everyone is well fed, especially our guest. Do you understand? The plomeek soup comes first, and then the gach. We want them served simultaneously but staggered. Is that understood? And the attendant says, "Yes, of course, ma'am. Yes, of course." And the attendant goes back into the kitchen. She turns to you. "My son."
Mother, father, how are you all?
Your dad leaps up and almost spilling his coffee, sets it down, and just comes over to you and just gregariously grabs the fork. Look at you.
You look well, father.
Oh.
One might think you are still out there getting some blood on your sword.
Oh, well, it's been a while, but I could if I wanted to.
You lose a couple of space with all this blood wine you packed into your belly here.
He pats his very large belly, and he's like kind of one of those Klingon warriors whose body is like pretty sturdy all over and slender all over, but he has like a large blood wine gut. And he just like proudly pats it. This will be you one day.
Don't count on that part, Father.
Oh yes, maybe your Vulcan side will kick in instead. So how are you? How have you been?
I've been well. It is not in my nature. I whisper this when Mom is listening to toot my own horn, but I've killed some impressible foes. So we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I want to hear all about it.
Yes, but the time on the ship has been good. We stopped a coup, no big deal. We killed some say impressive warriors. I think they were just, other victims. It's been pretty good. Pretty good. The crew, kooky bunch, but I've come to take a liking to them.
And they are accepting you as a fellow Klingon warrior?
It would be foolish if they did not.
No, that's right. That's right. That's my son. All right. So your mother has been standing back watching, letting you catch up with your dad. But steps forward a little bit and says, well, now that you are here and we are caught up, perhaps we should prepare for our guest.
Oh, yes, Mother. Who is this guest?
What are you asking me?
Nukok Pongwish. What is her name? Who is this?
Okay. Her name is Vinek. She is a Vulcan history professor.
Okay, I see.
That is who she is.
Kind of hit the nail on the head there, Mother.
How so?
A Vulcan history professor?
Yes, she knows her history.
And you've been teaching me the same history since I was able to pick up a book.
So you will have a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Yes, Mother. When is she supposed to arrive?
Well, she should be arriving quite soon.
Okay. Is there anything about her family I should know? Do you play? What do you do now to pass the time, actually?
Well, I have been attending many events at the Vulcan Embassy, which is where I met Vinek. She's one of the members of the civilian council there that puts on special events and dinners for the very few Vulcans who are here in the first city.
Understood.
And when she says the very few Vulcans, you understand her to mean it's just, she comes from Vulcan where she's the majority. And there's like a pretty decent sized Vulcan expat, whatever you want to call it, population on Konosh. Small, but there's a presence there.
Is she a fighter at least?
Your father chimes in and says, oh, actually, yes. They had a demonstration of Vulcan martial arts that your mother dragged me to. And I thought it would be boring and terrible, but it was quite good. And she was one of the best there.
Calling me intrigued. Okay. Smart and away with combat. Maybe a good pick, Mother. I look at my dad like,
and your dad just cracks up laughing too. Your mom just gives him a stern look. And he's like, sorry. Well, our guest will be arriving quite soon, so let us arrange ourselves around the room.
Before we all do all that, I run to my grandma in the kitchen and sneak up and give her a hug and then run back in the room.
So let's advance a little, unless there's anything else you want to do in the house before
Nope.
Dinner. Okay. Not too long later, maybe like 20 minutes later, you've still been catching up with your parents, relaxing. And sure enough, that same doorbell sound echoes through the front hall. Your mother promptly stands up and she motions to your father to stand up. He stands up as well. She says, "Kota."
Hello, greetings.
No, wait, she's not in here yet.
Oh, why'd you tap me then? I was just talking to Dad about. We were
Stand up.
talking about. I'm standing, mother.
Stand up. Stand right here in the center of the room.
Okay.
Wait here. And then they leave the room, leaving you standing there in the center of the room. The grandmother is also waiting with you in the room. She's not standing, she's sitting. And the parents come back, and behind them trails this woman who, her name is Vinek. She's probably about 5'10". She is very strong, like muscular Vulcan. And her hair is actually a little bit longer than the typical Vulcan cut, probably to about here, still in a bit of a bob. She's and she has just this peaceful gaze on her face with a little bit of just a hint of sharpness.
Oh,
And
snap.
she enters the room. Your parents kind of part to present her, and now you are standing across the room from Vinek.
Diftar Hesmusa.
And same to you.
There's no way for this to be any less awkward. Should we take a seat?
Yes. I would like to take a seat.
Okay. We walk over to the table. Mom, can you please go talk to the cook or something?
Yes, your mother picks up the hint and starts to leave with your father, but notices that your grandmother is lingering and says, "Mother." And your grandmother's like, so your mother has to walk over to your grandmother, take her, gently by the arm, lift her up, and walk her to the kitchen. So now you're alone in the room.
Can I interest you in anything to drink?
Yes, what do you have available?
For sure, anything you would want. Water, blood wine. I'm sure my mom has some kind of clear wine in here somewhere.
I'll take the blood wine.
Okay. All right. Pour 2 glasses. Sit down. So, feel like we should get this part out of the way. How are you liking it here, Chrono? Are you fitting well with the Klingons?
I believe so. I like to fight. I think that is a shared language that I share with the Klingons who I interact with here.
You don't say. How many battles have you been in? Tell me some of your favorite things to do to a downed foe. Any of it.
Oh, well, I hate to disappoint you, but I have not actually been in battle. I just train.
Oh, I guess there is honor in that. Practice making perfect and all of that.
Have you been in actual battle?
I stand up and I show all the scars on my arms. I treat it as a what do you think type of situation.
And she looks at each one.
You've seen how they assume any person with pointy ears is a Romulan here. So you can only imagine how my childhood was. Even before I enlisted, I've had to break a few bones, draw a couple of blood, droplets here and there.
Do you feel like that has changed who you might have been if you had grown up on Konosh like I did?
Who knows? You can't assume the changing of who you are as a person. All you know is who you are.
I sometimes think I would have been a different person if I had grown up on Konosh instead of Vulcan. But
In what way? Aside from obviously already been in a fight by now.
Exactly. From a young age, I was always interested in learning and history, of course, but I wanted to fight. I couldn't get myself in trouble if I tried. But if I had grown up here, it would have been a part of the way, part of my way. But now I am an adult and my fighting has been regulated to the training grounds.
We can change that quite easily after this dinner. I have a plug for a battleground if you'd like to test your mettle, as they say. This is my second Palm 4, and I chose violence the first time. So it's actually quite impressive that you've never been in a fight.
She just raises her eyebrows at both of those statements. Well, perhaps. You kind of see a glint in her eye when you say those two things.
Let me go see how that dinner is going along. I'll be back. Run off in the kitchen.
Okay.
See my dad before I get to my mom. Father, good job on mom. Who'd have thought? Now, I was like, oh, what is it? I was always like, oh, how's crazy loud dad end up with a Vulcan?
Right?
Dude, God. Right. I was concerned I was going to have to kill somebody, but this seems like this is a good match. This works. This makes sense. All right, we're not going to tell mom that because she obviously doesn't need to hear it because I don't need the level of I told you so that she would say. This is just a dad-son situation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That being said, can you guys come back and do this dinner because the whole, arranged situation of this is kind of awkward, and we're just sitting in the air.
Of course.
Yeah.
He turns to the rest of the kitchen and says, "It's time for dinner." And so now we're going to cut to the dinner table. Beautifully ordained table that your mother and the house staff has taken great care to establish for tonight, for the guest and for you. And you're in the middle of that double course that you overheard your mother talking about, which was the plomeek soup arriving first, and then the gach, fresh delivered gach, arriving midway through the soup course. And Vanek has been quietly eating her plomeek soup. And when the gach arrives, she very almost daintily picks it up and plops some in her plomeek soup. And then she looks up at the rest of you, suddenly self-conscious. I'm sorry, was I supposed to? They were served together. I'm not sure if that was intended.
There's no rules in eating. You eat how you do. It's just never seen that particular combination done in this house.
Well, yes. And she starts to drink the soup and the gach. Chris, do a presence. No, insight Insight command roll. A lot of insight tonight, huh?
Okay.
And the difficulty, I would say the difficulty is 1.
Okay.
I'm going to make it 2, actually, because she's Vulcan.
We have 4 momentum, by the way, in case you want to spend for an extra die.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Didn't need to. That's a 1.
Oh, you rolled a 1. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any focuses?
All right, I got a 1.
What are your focuses?
Composure.
And
Would
what
that
else?
work in this situation?
Maybe what else?
Most of them are just. All the rest of them are fighting, really.
Okay.
Tactics, hand-to-hand combat, tactical systems, athletics, blade specialist.
Yeah, I would say composure would apply here. I mean, you actually don't even need it because you rolled a 1, which is all the 2 successes anyway. But yes, so you for the first time across the dinner table notice that this Vulcan woman, as composed and like upright she is and serene her face is, she's nervous. And you actually realize with this insight roll that she is also like at those beginning stages of her Ponfar. So she is kind of a wreck inside because she's trying to quell those emotions and be presentable to this family and impress you all by being a good Vulcan. But she's like having a lot going on underneath the surface. And you just realize this with the Gach and Plobik soup situation.
What's her name again?
Vinek. V''Nek. Vinek.
Vinek. You seem a little uneasy. Would you like to go get some air real quick?
Yes, I would like to do that, if that is all right with all of you. And your mother, who is very pleased by how this is going, but of course Vulcan pleased, says yes. Yes, of course. And Vinek starts to stand up. And where do you take her to?
Just outside at first, because we're not gonna go to the battlegrounds yet. We're just gonna get some air. Just do a lap on the property.
All right. This is so like Jane Austen. Walking through the garden.
I'm the Duke.
Seriously, from the beginning setup, even the whole parents escorting her, it's been Jane Austen from jump.
It's Bridgerton. Klingon Bridgerton.
I prefer Oscar Wilde as my comedy of errors rom-com stage stuff. So this is the importance of being in Parmach.
Yo, that is such a layered, specific joke.
Yep. Okay. So so you lead her around, and it's a beautiful night on Konosh, muggy, hot. But you can see the stars twinkling. You can see in the sky the belt of Praxis, all those pieces of that torn up moon being lit up by the nearby star, one of the nearby stars. And it's really sparklingly gorgeous in the sky tonight.
We're just staring up, looking at the sky, and I'm like, you never had any urge to go out there and see what there is to discover? It's endless, boundless.
And she looks up as well. I have been on exactly one long flight in my life, and it was the one that brought me here. And I do wonder sometimes what's out there.
We'll have to go find out sometime. Well, I mean, for you, I already know, obviously. You can also ease up. I know my mother and grandmother are a lot sometimes, but as I have been trying to explain to them since I was 12, There's not that many differences between Vulcans and Klingons, really. We both like to give in to our more violent, baser sides at times. I saw the whitening of the knuckles. It's fine.
She stops walking and she just kind of almost like bends over, like, it's really hard. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard, but this is not how I usually am, and I really just need to let out some steam.
I get it. It makes sense. Let me, if this is going to work as a pairing, you're going to have to meet my crew, and we're going to have to do my favorite activity, which is fighting. So I want you to fight my captain, and then we'll come back to this dinner.
Let's go.
Love it.
We cut. And checking the time, I think actually we will take our break now. And when we come back, Klingon Bridgerton continues. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Blood of the Void, the Bridgerton episode. Before we dive back into this story, I want to check myself before I wreck myself, because I said the wrong monetary unit for the Klingon Empire. The Talon, according to Memory Beta, is actually for the colonies, the Klingon colonies. It's the Darsek that they deal with on Konosh. That's the primary Klingon currency. So we're going to just retcon that whole scene in the market and just say that we were talking about Darseks the whole time. And scene. So, resuming with our story, we actually, before we get back to the Bridgerton edition, we are going to find out what Dawa has been doing during their time visiting Konosh. Now, Dawa, let's say that this is the time before, actually, no, yeah, this is after the night market situation. Is there anything that you specifically have been wanting to do on Konosh?
When Dawa first arrived, they did not anticipate being on the homeworld for as long as we have been at this point. And they've been going, they're a little bit stirred up, wanting to get back to the Borku and out into space. But of course, that cannot happen until we've concluded our business here. So one morning they wake up and they decide to pack up a few essentials, and more or less without telling anyone, they leave behind a note. Basically, they leave the house and decide to set out away from the first city on a little journey of their own.
Tell me where you're heading.
So there is a small town in a not exactly it's not very near the first city. It is quite a ways out in the Klingon countryside. It is fed essentially by a large river that flows from a mountain. It's not very large, only maybe a few hundred people in the whole town. Certainly a flyover, as it were. Lincoln, you miss it. But it is familiar to Dawa, though they have not been here in some time. But they are in search of a specific house.
Okay. So you find yourself back in this area you haven't been to in a long time. You recognize the countryside, you recognize the bend of the hills and certain roads, and things don't seem to have changed much since you were last here. just small changes here and there. Like there's a broken down tractor on the road. There are trees that were smaller before and have now grown larger. There's brush and there's underbrush and briar patch in places that there wasn't before, things like that. But those cosmetic changes don't hide the familiarity for you. And you make your way down a winding road, and just as it was when you last were here, stands a cottage.
I think Dewal kind of, as they grow closer to it, they pause on the road for a bit and just sort of look around before rolling back their shoulders and kind of setting their jaw, and the grip on their pack sort of tightens, and they kind of their hand goes to their neck where their pendant hangs, and then they without another moment's hesitation continue to stride forward.
Okay. So as you walk towards this cottage, you enter the front yard and you recognize the tall stone that as a child you would have your blades practice on. So you see those marks that you made as a child, slashes across the stone, back and forth on either side.
Was I ever that small? Not
And
that
you-
small anymore. Walk up to the door.
Okay. You hear a slight stirring, and there's a drawing back of a curtain towards the front. And before you can get a look at who might be in there, it snaps closed again abruptly. You hear a shuffle in this old cottage. You can even hear some of the floorboards creak as whoever this is comes to the front door and slowly, almost cautiously opens it. And standing there, you recognize Volquois.
So you are still alive.
It cannot be you.
It's not.
I don't understand.
I am dead after all, am I not? At least that was the intention, wasn't it? Is he here?
She stands back and lets you in. Oh, lets you in through the door. And as you walk in, you notice that she's sizing you up. You stand about 1.5 feet taller than she is. And she just kind of looks you up and down, taking you in. She closes the front door and comes back around to the front of you, and almost like on tiptoe, just peering up at your forehead. You've changed.
I had to.
Is it really you?
You don't get to be emotional.
I didn't know.
I like this story. You had to have known what would happen. He wouldn't have made such a decision without you, would he?
We agreed to send you away with friends, not to send you down a river. And the river of blood at that. Such a dangerous place for anyone, especially a child. No, I was not a part of that.
Was hardly a child to him. Wasn't I more of a burden? Neither son nor daughter, who am I? What do I belong to? What belongs to me? I was cast off like so much garbage, sent to live in this place in obscurity. And then, when everything fell to ruin, I was abandoned. You were the only family I ever knew. For a long time, I didn't understand why you had done what you had done. I understand now. Are you going to continue to hide from me, old man? Or are you going to come out here and face your fate?
And you hear the shifting weight as Mtesh steps slowly out from behind a wall. So you've made your way back. The river didn't take you after all.
What river would want to Duras?
And Bokwa says, would you like something to eat, to drink? Would you like to see your old room? We kept it the same. I wouldn't let him change it.
He knows why I'm here. I need nothing from you.
Bokwa just kind of turns and walks into the front room, not sure what to do with herself. And Mtesh steps forward again. I knew that if you survived, this day would come. Day of judgment, of reckoning for what I did. I hope you understand that as a Duras, you had no future anyway. I know you understand that because look at your forehead.
Do you think I cared at all about my name or that family? I was a child. You had a responsibility.
Do you know what they do to Duras loyalists? Do you know what they would have done if they knew that I was harboring a Duras child? We all would have been dead a long time ago.
I had a right to fight for myself.
Were you going to fight the entire Klingon Defense Force?
At least I would have died with honor. Now I must forge it anew. I have spent my life doing that because you robbed me of the opportunity to do it when I was young. Like a Batak. To have lived among you for that long. To have not known what a coward you were. No more. Take up your weapon. We end this now.
Please, just let me die outside.
Zoal just walks out.
And Mtesh grabs the family batleth that's on the wall and follows. And almost before we cut to the front yard, Vauquois just turns slowly in sadness and shame and regret and mourning, knowing what's about to happen.
If you want something to do, you should begin building his pyre.
And with that, we're going to cut to the front yard. I wish to die on my feet.
It is more than you deserve. But I will grant your request.
He holds up his bat'leth in a ready stance. Shall we roll this off?
And from their pack, they'll withdraw the bat'leth they had wrapped up inside and unwrap it and ready themselves as well.
All right.
And I guess I'm gonna do a combat. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's make the difficulty 1.
Okay.
And yeah, so not meeting the difficulty means both people kind of fail at what they try to do. A tie at meeting the difficulty, I think goes to the PCs. Ties go to PCs, or at least I'll just set it at that today.
Okay.
And then whoever beats the difficulty wins the combat.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. This is a daring security or fitness security. I can't remember.
I would say either. Yeah, you could do either daring or fitness and security.
Okay. Neither are great rolls for me. So this.
Okay. What is your daring and fitness, by the way?
my daring is 9 and my fitness is 8. So this is
okay.
Dua is not a combat boy.
Right,
Dua's an engineer. But they do have a blood oath against this man, and they must see it fulfilled. So.
Right. And what is your sorry, what was your security?
My security is 1. Like I said, not a fighting game.
Okay. All right.
This is gonna be interesting.
If you would like to, I'm gonna do a little homebrewy thing here. Because this is Blood Oath combat, if you'd like to spend your determination for the episode and use that to increase your security, you could do that.
Okay. I do have I have a couple of values that might work.
All right.
I am defined by my choices, not my blood, or what challenges me strengthens me.
Yeah, I feel like either of those choices, not blood, what challenge, I would say maybe what challenges me strengthens me, because
Cool.
Yeah.
And
it's challenging to be abandoned and sent away to maybe die.
So what would you say that makes my security rating now?
Let's see. So you're at a 1. This is, I don't know, we're making this up as we go along, this rule.
Usually when you burn a value, you get 2 automatic successes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say instead, like, we could do like 2 points to security and make it a 3?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'll take it. 12's not bad.
All right.
Coolio. Is everybody all right with me burning momentum to gain an extra die?
Do it.
Cool.
What is our count at anyway? Because we had a couple
we
changes.
changed. Yeah, we changed scenes at the last one, so we are at 3 momentum right now. And you said that the difficulty of this is 1?
1. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go, y'all.
Okay.
All the momentum you need.
Wow, this is not great.
Okay.
But you know what? That's okay. We got 1 success.
All right. You win this round.
Cool.
What do you do?
I think the first thing that Dwa does is they essentially lunge towards Emtesh, and just as it appears that they're going to try and go for Emtesh's face, they kind of kneel down and like slice across the top of Emtesh's thigh.
Mm.
And and then I roll the same number of dice as my security rating, like D6s for.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes, is that correct?
Oh, is that the question?
Yeah, it was a question. Do I roll the same number of D6s as my security rating?
So you're
I don't
using
remember how I do damage.
Yeah, let me pull up the batleth damage because it's that plus your the number of die of your security rating.
Yeah. I've never really done a fight before.
Very
This is my very
exciting.
first Star Trek Adventures combat. So,
Whoa!
Or
That's
it's
right,
not my
'cause you're
first.
playing Ambassador.
It's not my first. I lied. I have done it
Oh, really?
before for the Time Kids, but I've never done solo combat before. This is my first time fighting mano a mano.
Okay, so the batleth. Oh, there's some stuff about batleths. So, okay, first of all, heavy blade is batleth. It's a melee weapon, and you get 3 damage die.
Okay.
It's vicious 1, so if you roll an effect, then basically it cuts deeper, it damages more.
Right.
And then there's something about, I think I get 2 more threat when you use a batleth.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Using a batleth gives you threat.
Yeah. I haven't used any threat today. Okay.
Well, I mean, there was a time to start. So it's 3 plus my security rating for the damage roll?
Yeah.
Or just the 3 for the batleth?
3 for the batleth plus your security.
Okay, so I'm rolling 6 because I got. Here we go. Let's see. All right. I can't remember what doesn't mean anything. I believe 3s are nothing, right?
Yeah. 1s and 2s are that number of damage. 3s and 4s are nothing.
Cool.
And 5s and 6 are 1 damage plus an effect.
Cool. So I didn't roll any effects, but I did roll 5 damage.
Ooh, okay. With this slice to the thigh, you definitely have landed quite a good blow on this man. And he's older now, maybe 60s, early 60s. He is still a rugged looking Klingon, but you can tell that with this first strike, even he's taken aback. Blood starts gushing from that wound at the top of the thigh. You narrowly missed an artery, by the way, because there's an artery right closer towards the center of that area. Okay.
Redundant systems. We're Klingons. It's fine.
That's true. Okay, so we roll again.
All right. Yes. And this time I just roll.
Okay.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Sounds like a good ooh.
I rolled 3 successes because I got a natural crit.
Oh, snap. You win this round again.
Woohoo! Damage.
Oh, dear.
This time I think they're going for the other thigh.
Okay.
He said he wanted to die on his feet. And I said, sure. I lied. I lied.
Cut his feet off.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage with 2 effects.
5 damage with 2 effects?
Yes.
All right. Where do you target him this time?
So this is a slash across the other thigh. But as they catch into the thigh, and I apologize to everyone's going to get a little bit like they kind of hook down with the tip of the batleth and just like drag it down the length of his thigh and just like split his leg open. Yeah, it's gross. Real gross. That's why we have content warnings, folk.
Yeah, so you do that, and this drops him to his knees, and as you drag your batleth down the inside of his thigh, he passes out, just blood gushing. He's passed out, but I'll say he's barely conscious. He's just ever so there hanging on, but he is down for the count, and he looks up at you and he says, "Do it."
And Dewa raises the batleth over their shoulder to make the killing blow, and as they swing it down towards his head, the blade stops like just before Mtesh's throat.
Do it.
Even Grethor is too good for you. And I kick him across the face and knock him out.
Ugh.
Then I throw the batleth down next to his body, and I look up, and I'm sure Vauquois is watching from the door.
Yep.
You will not see my face again. But if I ever see either of yours, then I will send you to your end. Consider this the only mercy I will ever show you. And we'll walk away from the cottage.
Okay.
But as I walk away, I do not turn back towards the main road to head back to the first city.
Okay, where are you heading now?
I start to make my way towards the river.
Okay. You remember this path pretty well because even though you were a child and this is the last time you left this cottage in this area, it's a path you had taken many times before to visit the river. And having been warned so much about this particular river and its dangers to children like you never expected that your guardian, Matesh, would be taking you there. And so as you walk down this path towards the river, all these memories keep flowing back to you of how he guided you with his hand on your shoulder, walking slightly behind you. The small pack that he had made you with some provisions. Even as a kid, you wondered why he made you a pack but didn't have one of his own. You thought that was curious, but you didn't. You were still trusting then, so you didn't question it. And then out in real time, as you approach the edge of the river, you remember how it was that day so many years ago when he sat you down in a boat, pushed off, never to be seen again.
Do I see any like empty boats that look like they might be like for rent or for sale or anything like that when I get there?
If you'd like to spend 2 momentum, there can be one.
So I think I got 2 momentum back from that successful roll. So we're at 3. Wait, I spent 1. We had 2, and then I got 2 back. We're at 4 momentum right now.
Oh, and from the combat, I didn't tell you what I rolled. I rolled 2 successes that last time. In the first round, I rolled 1 success. Well, that doesn't matter for you though, because you get 1 from the combat basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, all right. Got it. Okay, cool.
And whatever else you had before. So
yeah. Okay, so then I guess we're at 5 momentum.
Okay.
I guess. Cool. I'll spend 2 momentum to create that attribute to the scene.
Great. So you create a boat that is very likely Mkesh and Vauquois' boat. And it's just there for the taking. There's nothing,
They certainly don't need it right now. I don't think Mkesh is going to be sailing anytime soon. Yeah. I throw my pack into the boat and get into it and kick off into the river.
Okay. And with that, we will go back.
And I will also bid you all a farewell because I'm afraid I have to leave a little bit early tonight. But thank you so much, ALIZA. That was a lot of fun. And I look forward to seeing what happens next. And good luck with Pomfar. Good luck. Okay. Bye, y'all.
All right. Bye, Aki.
Can this episode be titled "Good Luck with Ponfar"?
Absolutely. Okay. So with that, we now go back in time and pick back up to actually EDAJ. EDAJ, this is the time, the period of time after you've done all of the House of Quebec duties and before the night market incident. So you've had some free time to do what you like on Konosh. What are you doing at this point?
Boy. If we recall, I had met up with Nivek, first chance I got when I was trying to stalk him, and I fell and somehow had to come to face with him. We had agreed to meet up again, so meeting up with him again.
Okay. So you are at a place called it's not in there. 1 second.
I feel genuinely nervous, kind of like, oh boy.
I feel nervous that it's not popping up in my notes. I know it's in here. 1 second, y'all. The actual name of this place. Okay.
Ramyan. What were you saying? Who's it? It's oh wait, what'd you say? You said Vanek?
Is
The X?
EDAJ's ex is Nivek?
Yes, so Nivek is EDAJ's ex that she tried to stalk and ran into and met his daughter and had an awkward encounter on the street. And now, EDAJ, you find yourself sitting with Nivek, having just sat down with Nivek at a place called QueueTimes, which is a famous, well-known gakery. So their specialty is gach, and all the locals hit this place up, and the people who are local but like you are back home visiting always hit up this spot. So it's a busy, bustling place. You've just sat down with Nivek.
You order. I don't feel hungry somehow. Yeah, you just go ahead and order.
All right. Okay, what about he's looking at the menu that's kind of stuck to the wall of your booth? I mean, I always am a fan of tag-fed gach. That's kind of my favorite. I think that's the best thing they have here. So shall we start with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he, as is the custom at this gakery, he takes the little pad of paper and the pencil and writes Targ on it really large, and then just it's a post-it pad, and he sticks it at the end of the table. And pretty swiftly, one of the servers just comes by and scoops it up and then says, "How many? You didn't write the number."
Just one.
All right. The server writes 1 on it really large and then drops the pencil back on the table and then rushes it off to the kitchen.
I see your handwriting is still as bad as ever.
Yes, not much has changed. Trying to teach my daughter how to write and script has been pretty interesting when I myself don't do it so well with my hand anyway.
She's looks lovely, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. She's a wonderful girl. Very special.
What was her name?
Anaya.
Anaya, that's right.
I should have. You do that thing where, like in rom-coms, where you talk at the same time, and then you're like,
yeah, no.
I know you wanted to. Oh no, I didn't mean that.
I wasn't trying to do anything. I know. Look, I know it was weird that I just fell in front of you, and I wasn't spying on you this time. That's a poor choice of words. It's just nice to see you, you know?
It's nice to see you too.
I'm sorry. It's been, I don't know how long since we've talked.
Yeah.
Is it weird to say that I miss you?
No. Is it weird if I say that I think about you often?
No. I think it's been at least, I don't know, 12, 13 years, something like that. I don't know. I think about what could have been, and if I want to be perfectly honest with you, sometimes I wish my life had gone down a different path, but it didn't. And I don't regret the life I've had. And I don't think you regret. You know, you've had so many successes with the theater. It's amazing. I've kept up with all the things that you've written, and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's...
Thank you for that. So much has changed since I last saw you. I feel like it's been a lifetime.
A few lifetimes for some. Yeah. I'm captain of my own ship now.
I was gonna try to act surprised, but I know your parents told me.
Oh, they have even telling you this.
They're very proud of you, and I see them at the opera house all the time. So
okay, the stories he's written about me are only at most like half true. I didn't really take on a pirate ship single-handedly. I didn't do that on my own. I just want to make that clear.
What about? Okay, all right. So yeah, I have some questions because I know your dad likes to embellish in his stories. We all do, of course, but your dad in particular. Did you fight a half Romulan, half Klingon officer on your ship that had turned out to be a secret Romulan officer? Is that all true?
Look, what happens in Klingon intelligence stays in Klingon intelligence.
So it is true.
You can't say either way. Come on, you can't try and pull a story out of me. I just.
Did you ever have children?
I never had the chance. It's something that if I could change, that is the one thing that I wish could have happened.
there's some things I want to tell you because, well, before we met tonight, I felt like I should tell you just so you knew kind of where I am in my life. But now I think I should tell you because of where you are in your life.
Yeah.
So my daughter, Anaya, she lived through a terrible trauma. And it involved losing her mother. I'm telling this backwards. Anaya and her mother were traveling together. Her mother was actually a Beck in the KDF. And one of the times when she was planetside, she brought Anaya along on the ship. It was supposed to just be a routine survey mission to the next solar system over and back. But they encountered Borg. And for a time, for a few years, in fact, after her mother was killed and taken by the Borg, Anaya also was. 3 years as a child. I don't know if you noticed, but she still has some implants. So she was taken by the Borg. The Federation recovered her. And then she was sent to some backwater planet. I forget the name of it, but they had a kind of a colony of ex-Borgs there. And she was sent there. They didn't know who she was. They didn't know that she had a father that was waiting for her, that thought she was dead. And she lived there for some time before someone figured out her true identity and sent her home to me. But the reason why I think I should tell you this for you is because I don't think you realize what loss is until you have something that precious that's worth losing. And I don't fault her mother for taking her on that trip. She was a warrior and she was raising our daughter to be one. I wish she had had an honorable death, but she may still be out there. But we need more women like you, warriors, even if you don't want to have your own children, just to be leaders and show our young people, our young Klingons, the strength of Klingon women.
And I grab his hands and I hold them on the table. I'm so sorry, Nivek. I couldn't have imagined that for your family, and I'm so sorry. But you're a little bit wrong. I do still want a family. I only regret that I didn't have one sooner. But seeing you with Anaya, it just reignited something inside of me. I don't know what exactly, but it's so good seeing you still. Even with all the things that have happened in our past and with it. It's just good seeing you.
At this point, the server just kind of spins a bowl of gok onto the table and then zips back away. After this, Anaya is at her grandparents' house for the night if you wanted to come over and have some.
Yes. I'm sorry, what?
Would you like to come over and have some blood wine?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. And at this moment, you get an alert on your communicator.
Just hold on one second. Hold on one second.
That's so fucked up.
What is it?
Hey, Captain. I could really use your assistance right now. Are you busy at the moment?
Yeah.
How busy is it? Because this is, dare I say, quite literally a matter of life and death.
Is it life and death? Okay, it's life and death. Who's life? Who's death?
I mean, you remember the whole pond far situation?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Mine. It sounds like I need to apologize for whatever's happening, but you would really be helping me out big time. You know, yeah, I don't know how to sell it. I'm struggling real hard to keep my cool here.
No, I understand. If you were asking me to help you out with something, then it is life or death. Okay, send me your coordinates and I'll be there.
Thank you very much. Send it right to you.
That gawk looks so good.
It's really good.
Yeah. I have to go. Can I rain check? I'll meet you at your place later. If that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you is it confidential? Are you doing Klingon warrior stuff? Can I come?
Well, you want to come? You want to
I have the whole night free. I have a small daughter.
Yeah. I don't know what this is going to be. If you're coming, it's a Ponfar situation. I don't know what's happening. If I need to,
I gotta see this. I gotta see this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go. Let's all go. Let's all go to this Ponfar situation.
And we cut over to. Okay, Chris, I'd like for you to set up the scene. So the meeting place is, you said, some type of training ground, or where?
Yeah, like there's like a fighting pit or whatever, like the training place on my family's like a little home plot thing, and then that's where we're meeting. It's outside, but I mean, there's like lights, like a football field basically, but a circle for a fight pit, like training grounds. And then while we're waiting, what is my mate's name again? Is it Vinek?
Yeah, Vinek.
Okay, so Vinek and I are sitting there waiting, and then the way that EDAJ will be coming is off like on the far side, like around some crates and stuff. But then I'm talking to Vinek, and we're in the scene, and I'm like, Vinek, for the sake of efficiency, I find you as the most optimal of a mate that one could find. Do you share that sentiment? You are intelligent, you are strong, but fighting is very important to me.
Yes, I accept this challenge.
Okay. In that case, and then just right when that happens, EDAJ turns the corner.
All right. So, Nivek, you've got the ropes, right? I don't know what we're walking into here, where we need to tie him up, or we're gonna need to cut someone, or what's up? Oh, Kotar.
Captain.
You said this was life or death. You seem to be having a romantic ballad under the moon here. Are you quoting poetry to each other? What's happening here?
Okay. All right. Captain. The thing is, we need to have a little makeshift caliphate. Seeing as we are Klingons, we do things slightly different. My captain is the head of my war family and a very valiant and strong warrior. My potential mate here has not had an actual combat situation, and I was hoping that you could trial by fire her and, help release some aggression before we agree to being mates with each other.
And at that moment, your Vulcan grandmother exits the house in a ceremonial procession with your parents behind her. She's holding basically a Vulcan gong, and she's holding with one arm and banging it with the other. Bong, bong. And then your dad behind has like a hand drum thing that he's like rhythmically tapping.
Oh. This is all part of your mating ritual, Kotar? You're pulling us into your family's part of this too, right?
Look, I didn't ask for it. It's very weird that, all of these steps are required to do something that a species needs to do to exist, but it is what it is, okay?
Hey, I'm here to support you as your captain, okay? I'll support you in whatever cultural thing that you need me to do. Just
feels like you're attacking me for my culture right now.
I'm not attacking your culture. I am here to attack whoever you want me to attack.
Okay.
Hello? Your hair is lovely. You want to be romantic partners with this person here. And in order to do so, I must fight you. Is that correct? Am I assessing the situation correctly?
Yes,
And
you are.
Vanek roars, yes, that is the situation. And you see her, her Panfar is really like starting to take over her emotions.
Oh,
her face is flushed with that green Vulcan blood.
Okay. Yep. Kotar, how hard do you want me to go?
And then I flip out two stun blades from my pocket and be like, first one tap out is the winner.
Okay.
Show her what real combat is like, Cap.
All right. Nivek, do you want to just you're eating a snack. All right.
Yeah. Nivek, so your Kotar's mom had brought out like a couple of snacks and handed one to Nivek, so he's just munching on some like targ jerky, just like fascinated watching this.
I'm gonna take my stun blade and just wave hello with my blade in my hand. All right, gonna fight now. Enjoy the show. Here we go.
And with that,
hey, Captain.
What?
Captain.
What?
Captain.
Now what?
Captain, look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem to also be on a date.
Yeah.
This will work optimally for.
Optimally? How? Kotar, tell me how.
For all parties.
What? You skipped the important part. How is it working out for both parties?
What do you mean? This man is going to see the aggressive warrior that you are, and what Klingon's blood does not boil by seeing successful combat.
Nivek overhears this and is like, it's true.
It's true. It's true. You're right. You're right. It's true. Okay. All right. I'm going to just stretch over here in the corner and get limbered up because I was not expecting a fight. Here we go. Okay.
So what we'll do is when we get to the knockdown number 5 and under, that'll be the tap out.
5 and under?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to spend 2 threat.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, boy.
And I'm going to say that okay.
If we haven't rolled since Dawa's scene, that means we're down to 2 momentum because we had 3 at the end of their scene and then
the scene changed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the parents initiate this ritual combat. There are some speaking that is done as you two are limbering up in the ring. Nivek and Kotar are standing by watching. And Kotar, by the way, your Panfar is like, since you're half Vulcan and half Klingon, you have a better handle of those emotions, but it's been bubbling in you increasingly.
I've been locking it down. If she had a mate, he would have had his head ripped off. But
yeah.
We're chilling right now because we've been chilling.
Mm-hmm. So they speak the ritual procession. They open this fight, gong, and we begin. Now, I did spend threat, and I'm using that threat to take the first swipe.
All right.
Are you using a weapon?
Vulcan, hello.
Right. There it is.
I think Kotar had handed us stun blades, but I don't know if that's what we're required to fight with, because by preference, I would prefer like my TikToks because I know their weight rather than this weapon that was handed to me.
Nope. The ritual is stun blades. So you can't draw actual blood.
Just to be clear, are these the round ones with the big half circle at the end, the big Vulcan ones? Nice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is going to be, I'm going to make this difficulty 3.
For you, right?
For both of us, for everyone.
So much like Dewa's earlier fight, all melee fights are opposed. So everyone's rolling.
Okay, great. We're all rolling. So I'm rolling 2 die, right?
Yes, unless you want to buy more.
And wait, which things am I rolling for?
Oh yeah, this will be fitness security unless you absolutely want to use something else.
I use fitness and medicine because these are blades still, so yes. I use medicine in lieu of that.
All right.
Medicine. Okay.
I'm spending a threat to buy 1 more die.
What? You know what? Let's see how my luck goes. I'm just gonna roll and see how it goes.
So difficulty 3.
Wait, 3? Dang.
Yeah.
Should I buy a die now? Should I buy a die? How badly do I want to? I have 2 die, right?
Yeah, you have 2, and then you can buy another.
I'm very scared. I'm just gonna roll. We'll see how it goes. I have 2 die left. Okay. Oh. All right. I believe I rolled 2 crit. I got a 5 and a 3, and my medicine is 5. And I also have blades and xenobiology as my focuses.
You win this round. And so Vanek comes at you, charges with this stun blade. And you can see that Vulcan rage now in its fullness in her eyes. And she swipes down at you. But you do what?
How much did I win by?
You how many successes did you get?
I got 4.
You won by 1 success.
Okay. I'm going to dodge and try to go for intercostal hit, which means between the ribs. Mm-hmm. So something that's not going to be fatal by any means, but will still be pretty painful.
Okay, and go ahead and roll your damage. So let's say that this is, in terms of this weapon and the damage it does, let's say it does 2 damage.
So I roll 2 die, right?
Plus your security rating.
My medicine rating.
Oh, sorry, your medicine rating.
All right, 2, so 7 die. And 3s and 4s mean nothing, right?
That's right.
Okay. And then 2 is 2 damage, 1 is 1 damage, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage, and 1, 2, 3, 5 effects.
Okay, what's your stress rating? Just wondering.
11.
You just did 9 damage.
I think so. I rolled a
No,
6.
I
5.
believe you. I'm just reacting to the fact that you just did 9 damage.
Is that I'm surprised I didn't roll any 3s or 4s. I rolled all 6s or 5s or 2s.
No, that was excellent. What I'm gonna do is
I don't want to kill her though.
I want this to go longer too. So I'm going to soak up some of that damage by spending threat.
I'm sorry. And I'm just like, after I stab her in the ribs, I'm just like, sorry to Kotar. I'm just, I don't know how to go easy on a Vulcan. My bad.
Well, let's say that. Okay. So she's able to absorb some of the shock of this blow, but you can tell that, yeah, she took that hit. She took some of the force of that hit in her side. And so it kind of like rocks her a little bit, but she's still standing and she still looks rage-filled. All right. We roll again.
Oh boy, okay.
I am going to spend threat again.
I'm just gonna go with mine too. Oh no.
Oops, minus.
I got 1 success.
Okay. And
Oh, did I get any leftover momentum from my last roll?
yes,
Like,
you got 1 moment.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did you spend any last round?
Nope.
So we're at 3.
Okay. She rolled 3 successes here.
Okay. Well,
You
Okay.
got 1
I
success.
got 1 success.
Okay. So this time, she swings for you again, and it happens much quicker than you were expecting because you thought she would need to recover from that blow. But no, she's right back at it. She springs forward and gets you on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how much she does. She doesn't have as many. How many damage die do you have for this?
Me?
Yeah,
I don't know.
you have a lot. She doesn't have as many as you. All right. 1, 2. But she still did okay.
Oh, 5 because I have medicine and 5.
Yeah. 5 plus the 3 plus the 2 of the blade. Yeah. So she has 5 damage die, but she still rolled pretty well. You're gonna take 3 damage for that hit to the shoulder.
I assume this is happening when I'm waving over that can go to her. Be like, hey guys, still fighting, doing the
And
thing.
then whack.
Ah! Come on! And
You're getting cocky now.
oh boy. You picked the crazy one. All right. And are we still fighting?
Yes, you are.
Jeez. Should I roll? I'm gonna take a momentum. I have 3. I'm gonna take a momentum. Do it. I get 1 extra die, right?
Yes.
Go for that.
All right. One, 2.
Oh. 2 successes. I was hoping for more. Just 2. 2 successes.
She got 4 that time.
Come on, man. Oh, geez.
All right. And even through the haze of her panfar, she manages to say the following as she like strikes at you again. You may be battle tested, but I am highly trained. And she goes for your knees.
Yeah.
And she does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4 damage.
4 damage. All right. If she hits my knees, I fall to the ground. And as my knees hit the ground, I yell out. In the heat of battle, should you fall to your knees, you should only grow closer to embracing your home world. And I kind of like wink at Nivek because this is a line from one of his most famous plays. I'm just like requoting some some of his stuff back to him. And I'm just like, ah! And I'm like painfully grunting this at him as I fall to my knees.
Nice.
Trying.
Okay.
Oh,
Roll again.
I'm rolling. Oh my god. Okay, here we go.
And remember, let me know when you get to 5, and I'll do the same. I'm going to.
What are you all at right now? Damn, like
Oh, going to
damage wise.
5. I lost 3 that last round, and I lost 4, so 8. I'm at 4 now.
Oh,
Is our battle over?
Wait, do you mean taken 5 or down to 5 total stress?
It's
if
5
you're under
stress.
5 stress, yeah.
I mean, my stress max was 11. Is that normal? Is that a typical Klingon number? Yeah. So I had, if you took out 3 the first round and then 4 the second round, that's 7. I'm down to 4.
Okay, so here's what the deal is. You are now at a place where you could tap out, because that was the rule. You know, first to tap out is who loses.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to keep battling, she will keep battling you because she's in a Ponfar rage.
Uh-huh.
So it's up to you whether you tap out right now or not.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting.
I'm gonna tap out. I'm gonna
No,
as I
keep
fall-
fighting because I have a dramatic play set up in the Bridgerton of this all. Like,
God. You want me to, okay, so I hear Kotar yell at me, "You're fighting," and I'm like, "Ugh." Oh, I was already like about to give up and give my great monologue, but short. No, I can still keep going. I got this. I got this.
Okay.
Is this gonna kill me, Kotar? Trying
Nope,
to defend your
it
honor.
won't. It won't. I got you.
Am I rolling? Okay, I'm gonna roll again.
All right.
Oh boy. Come on, man. Well, I got 1 crit, so 2 successes here.
Okay. You won this round.
Okay, great. I'm going to, from my knees, I'm assuming she's coming at me since I'm on the ground, and I'm going to trip her with my legs and do a arm crossbar on her. So
Yeah.
that means I'm holding her arm and have my legs locked around her body.
Oh, great. Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage.
This is grappling, so there's no blades or anything. What would I use to roll for that?
So on your character sheet, there should be a place that says like melee, unarmed strike.
Melee attack?
It might say unarmed strike.
2.
There you go. 2 plus your security rating.
Oh, that's still a lot. Well, I guess it's not medicine anymore because I'm not using a blade. I still know the body's anatomy, so I don't know if that applies or not. I don't know how much.
Sorry to interrupt here. I think it might be I think our sheets auto calculate after based on her security. So that's a 1 plus her security. So it should be 1 plus whatever discipline you want her to be using.
Wait, say that again?
I think the damage should be 1 plus whatever discipline you want her to be using, because I think our sheets auto calculate based on our security.
So then, okay, so then if you use security, it would be what's on your sheet, which is what's on your sheet? 2.
It says I have 1 for my security because I usually use medicine for damage or for fights. And then above, right below weapons, it says unarmed strike melee, knockdown non-lethal, 1 H, and then 2 Star Trek sign.
I would say just keep using medicine in this fight because you've been using it, and that's your fight style. So go ahead and roll it with your medicine.
So 7 die.
So it's 1 plus
1
medicine.
plus medicine.
So 6 die. So 8 damage and 1 effect.
Okay. Now you've
Okay.
completely turned this fight around because you have now gotten her into this position where you have your legs locked around her neck and her arm. You said you're holding her arm like at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't move anywhere. You're too strong. She's just completely, and she jerks and twists and pulls and tries to get away, but she's gotten got. She knows that if she keeps, she's as strong as she is, you're as strong, and you have her in a vulnerable position.
All right, I laugh and I walk over and I grab EDAJ and pull her off. And I go, okay, well done. Job well done. We're good here. And EDAJ goes over and flirts with her dude. And I and I pick her up. And I pick Vinek up and we do the little touch hands thing that they do before they touch foreheads. And then in a very British way, pick her up and we make out, and then everybody's like, ooh,
Dong, dong. Light drumming in the background by your dad. And so yes, that's what we'll fade to black on that scene, knowing that what happens next is lots of sexing.
Sexy time.
On this episode of Good Luck with Ponfar.
Okay, so that was our Bridgerton excursion. And now I would like to pick up back to the current time. So this all happened before the night market. So now we're back to after the night market. It's the next day. You all wake up at House Quebec. And you come down to the kitchen, have your breakfast as you have gotten accustomed to over the past few weeks. Starting to feel like home. You don't know how long you're going to be here, but it's starting to feel cozy in this house. And over your breakfast, targ bacon, everything's targ. Targ and gak, that's all they eat. But over your breakfast of targ bacon, you all get alerts on your communicators. And Ra'amyan, you pull yours up and you all get the same message. But what it says is, IKS Borku crew, new assignment to Cathar region. Report at 2100 hours that night.
Huh. Looks as though this little vacation's over now.
Are we all in the same space?
Yep. You're in the kitchen at the breakfast table.
The Qatar sector. That is the one that the Empire is moving to colonize. But I have been warned that perhaps those leading this charge may be doing so with ulterior motive. We probably will be called to go into battle. But I would watch my flank and hind as well as our enemies at the front, Captain.
Are you saying that there are dishonorable notions behind this mission?
Officially, as far as I am to understand from what the High Council has decided, we are going to reinvigorate the fighting warrior spirits and growth of the Klingon Empire. But my contact, my new ally in the High Council, has warned me otherwise, that those leading this charge, Druk of House Antek, may be doing so under pretenses that belie his true intentions. What those intentions are yet, I do not know. Simply that I do not believe that we should defy these orders, but we should be watchful. because I do not believe the enemies will only be at our front, if there are enemies at all.
I'm gonna reread this message real quick. What was the message again? I just want to make sure I totally remember it.
So the message says, IKS Borku crew. You will, I'm paraphrasing, I didn't actually write it down. You will report
2100 hours tonight.
2100 hours tonight, you will report they're
Because we're
sending you off
assigned.
to the Qatar region, basically.
Okay, so no clear directive of what we're doing, just going there.
Mm-hmm.
All
Was
right.
it sent us by KDF High Command, or was it like, is there a specific general that we're like that we're reporting under?
Yeah, let's say yes, there is a general. And the general's name is Ronar.
Ronar. Okay. Well, the directions are just to go to a region of space, so we do no dishonor by traveling, so I think we can do that. Crew, you have today left on Konosh, and that's it, so get ready to ship out soon. If you have any last business, now's the time to get to it.
And by the way, in this message, there also is specific coordinates.
Also, Ra'amyan, if you can, one last duty for you. Please secure 2 cargo bays worth of tentacles. I just want to make sure we have some fresh ones on board.
Yes, Commander.
Okay. At this point, Oran comes in and says hello to you all, shuffles in. He starts to go and pour himself a coffee, hot Klingon beverage, morning beverage. And he notices you all kind of immersed in your communicators. New news?
We've been called into service.
To do what? Might I ask?
We've been called for likely the new Klingon campaign in the Qatar sector. Have you heard anything of our house or the others, of what interest they may have in the Qatar sector?
Oh, I have not. Not specifically, but there was a conversation we were meant to have before you left, and I think we should have it.
Yes. Commander, I will make sure those tentacles are loaded.
Thank you. That's the only thing I ask.
Shall we to the record hall, Oran?
Yes. Yes. So he shuffles out, and 2 of you go over to the record hall. He opens the door for you, shows you in, closes the door behind you. Still holding his hot morning beverage. So since you've joined the house, I have been doing some research on the family that you asked about, the one that eliminated your family members, your entire house. And I have not found much, I will tell you, but I will keep looking. I promise you that. We will find out who did this and avenge them.
I thank you, Oran. I know it is not an easy task, else I would have done so in my youth. But with no opportunities then, the Klingon Defense Force was the way for me. But years later, I know that those clues will be even more faded from sight. But I appreciate anything you can do.
There is one more thing I wanted to tell you before you leave, Konosh. In my doing research and getting in touch with my contacts, I heard other rumblings. And these are things that I had heard rumblings of before, but they have continued, and they now concern me because they have to do with the IKS Borku.
What rumblings are there?
I have heard that there are or have been multiple Duras loyalists in hiding in your crew. And potentially one of them is a senior officer.
We know the houses of all the officers. No one is of Duras.
Duras and their family and their loyalists have been in hiding. More and more of them are being found out, but we believe that there are many more who are successfully hiding. They do surgical changes to change their ridges. They change their names. They fake their records. They're very good at deception. I do not know who it may be, but keep a watch, keep a close eye on your entire crew.
Does this include our commander?
It could.
I knew that among the Becks there were Pataks that tried to betray us to General Kargan before, but someone at the high level. Is there perhaps a personal, private line that you and I can keep open for us to update each other on any sort of happenings?
Yes. Would you, I'm imagining you would want something encrypted that only you and I can access.
Indeed. Do you know if they've otherwise infiltrated the house or merely the Borku?
From what I've heard, specifically the Borku. And now the house. If it's one of your senior officers who recently received the Rustai. That I'm not sure of, but it is very possible.
Perhaps then it would be prudent for you to continue research, not just on whoever has wronged my family, but whoever may wrong this one. I am, of course, open to you looking into my house's past. Perhaps it is the same that we both do the same for the rest of our crew, including our senior staff.
He holds out his forearm to you to shake.
I hold back.
We have agreed.
Kapla, Oran.
Kapla, Ra'amyan.
And with that, I head out.
Okay.
And also make a call for tentacles.
Oh, right, great. Order.
This will be a to-go order. 4 cubic kilograms. Yes, extra sauce. A separate packaging, please. Yes. Yeah, charge it to the house. Thank you. Okay, you too.
Okay. So now we have just a bit of time. So if there's anything else you all would like to do.
Ponfar, sexy time. Ponfar, sexy time.
Yeah. So let's pick back up the next morning after the Ponfar. And the first light of the day cracks. Actually, no, it's later in the day, let's say. Kotar, y'all just had a long, very physical night. You eventually passed out asleep, both of you. And now you wake up in, your parents had one of the master bedrooms in their house, appointed for you all for this night. And so that's the room you wake up in next to.
Can it be like a separate estate? Like not in the main house with my parents? It's like a once every 7 years situation. I don't want my
there's a back house that's like a guest house. It's really nice. That's where you are. That's where you are.
Great.
Just play loud opera music.
There ain't no opera music loud enough for 7 years of these extremely strong creatures.
So you wake up next to Vinik.
My head hurts. This must be what hangovers feel like.
She rolls out of the bed and goes to the sink and wets a washcloth and then brings it back. She says, "It might hurt because of that bruise that I gave you."
You said you'd never been in combat before, but I was a very solid punch. And the performance you put up against my captain is... I mean, we were already here, because the whole flaring of the blood, but great job. Great job. It was to be respected. So what do you do now? You're here. I have to go back to the stars.
Yes.
It is odd being a logical creature. So I feel my most Vulcan-esque. Then I stand up. I was like, I'm not Captain, when I was on this one planet, they have a term called the fuckboys.
Is that a Federation term?
I think so.
A human term, I should say, because I'm Federation too.
I think so. I would really like to take you out to see some more of stars the next time that I'm back.
I would very much like that.
I have to go to the ship and get ready to leave. Please feel free to take your time. Enjoy your space. What's mine is yours. And I look forward to seeing you the next time I'm back.
And thank you. Being far away from Vulcan and not having the typical arranged marriage from youth. It was really nice to meet someone else who's in that situation.
It was indeed. I've always had problems with a race who prides itself on logic, having such barbaric tendencies. But sometimes good things come from chaos.
Indeed.
Did I pick her up and we pond fire one more time before I leave?
All right.
Eat, pond fire.
Yes. Okay. So now we go back to the future. It is 8:49 p.m. that night after you got the message. And you are back at the Borku.
I kind of feel like my dad would know something about where we're going. Should I give a call?
If you like, yeah.
Oh, wait. My bad. Blip.
Why you did the Birdman call?
Like the Boost Mobile, like, what do you push to talk?
Guys, he grew up in the wilderness, okay? You can't give him shit for this.
Rotary phone.
Yeah. Omek for Bosch.
Bosch here.
Hey, I just want to let you know that I'm shipping out, and we're actually going to Qatar, the Qatar system. And also, I want you to know that I didn't tell Mom that I saw you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I apologize for coming off so aggressive when I saw you. I guess I'm still hurting. So
You have every right. You have every right to say everything you said to me.
yeah, I don't know if I could ever fully be healed, but I guess it was good to see you. And I'll try to keep your number. If it doesn't change, I'll try to keep in contact with you.
All right. Safe travels and kapla.
Wow.
Okay. And with that, we will end our session. And almost done with our time on Konosh. Next episode, we will just tie up some loose ends with our dear Dawa, who got in a boat on the river. And now we'll see what happens at the top of the next episode. But this is where we end tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in, for everyone in the chat, everyone in the VOD, on YouTube watching this show. Thank you for supporting us. Please do follow us on Instagram and not Facebook. Ugh, sorry. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also, make sure you're following and subscribed to QueueTimes. It's been lovely having you. I hope you enjoyed Klingon Bridgerton. Have a good night.